It's staying on this. It's staying there. It's Ben.
Oh well,
Barry. First of all, big up to you two. Big up to Barry. Big up to Iggy.
Big up, man.
I want to say to Barry, yeah, all the shit that you give to Son Heung-min today after the game, today after the game, all in the week building up to it.
Just done enough. Just done enough, Ben.
And Barry, what a player for your opinions to die on the hill with Emerson Royale, you know. A player that goes to AC Milan, and it takes the fourth replacement for Emerson Royale, Kyle Walker's replacement, and already Kyle Walker's going to AC Milan to replace him, yeah. And Emerson is the player that makes you die on the hill, yeah. What about Son Heung-min? Tottenham legend and the guy that saved us today.
Look, mate, you coming on with your career and your son gender, mate. I'm not having any of this, mate. I said weeks ago, Son does not work in this system. I said, I'm going to say it with chest because I'm not going to go hiding.
Who works in this system?
Listen, right? But I also said Son does just about enough. And today, he scores 2 goals just about enough to get... No, it's not unfair. I'm saying it. If Sim can come on with his Ange positivity, I'm sitting in this chair, I'm dying on my Emerson Hill. I'm dying on that hill.
Listen,
I'll give him his dues.
You've heard what I'm about to say about Son.
I'll give him his dues.
I don't know why people keep giving it. Listen, I've said it many times. I know he's not having his best season, but then again, who is? All right? But the guy's numbers do not lie. The numbers do not lie. And for me, again, tonight, yeah, fortunate on the first, but... on the second, no, man, he wasn't.
Let's go and see him do it against Leicester. Let's go and see him do it at Anfield in the second leg. I'm not saying it's just not for him. He's the captain. He's the leader.
Barry, I just don't understand it, man. I don't understand it. You'll literally go to the fucking moon and back for Emerson Royale, and then Son Heung-min for everything that he's done for Tottenham Hotspur.
So true.
What's he won, Ben? What's he won? Nothing. What's Emerson won?
Yeah. What's Emerson won? He's won a transfer out of every single club he's ever played for.
He's got a trophy, Ben. He's got a trophy.
AC Milan, he lasted, 6 months? Even that?
And what are you doing 6 months? He's done more in 6 months at AC Milan than Sonny's done since 2015.
Incredible. Why is players like our best players, right, arguably, I mean, Son's amongst them. I think Poro is undoubtedly one of them as well. And you know, why do we give these guys more shit than anyone else? Like, it was almost acceptable for everyone else to be shit, but when they are shit, we go double hard. And you're the worst.
No, I'm not having this.
Why are we putting the club's problems on Son Heung-min? He's the one that bleeds blue and white. He runs up and down that left-hand side for us all day long. He's 32 years of age. Yeah, we know he's not the Sonny that he was 4 years ago, but he still gives everything for this team. And he pulled through for us today, you know. He really did. And I thought in the first half, I think we came out with a bit of a point to prove today in the first half. 5:45, we could have been 3 or 4-0 up at half-time. It's a shame we weren't, because I think second half we just ran out of steam, didn't we? We were just running on empty from the second half, and I think you could have expected that to happen with the players that were just running into the ground at the moment. Decky, Sonny, Pedro Porro. Please tell me why Pedro Porro started against Everton. Was there any need for it whatsoever?
No.
That's
need.
what I blame Ange on, because that
100%.
is the decisions, like the way he sets us up, the players he selects, and all of that stuff. That's on the manager, and that for me, it's like you've already got 101 problems. Why are you adding more to it? Try to alleviate it to make it 99 problems instead of 102. That for me is what I go at him. Like, to me, that was a massively mismanagement for not playing Spencer regular on Sunday.
We can ask Sim that if Sim comes on as well. Sim would find a positive and a reason.
No, for me on Sunday, the most logical thing. Of
course, it was Spence and
the most logical
Reggie.
thing on Sunday would be to start both Reguilon and Spence. It'd be amazing if but then again, you know Porro's going to start. And then on top of it, knowing all of this, we still give him shit. And Son, like, okay, rest Son on Sunday.
I'm not like going crazy about it.
But, you know, rest Son on Sunday. We just lost our main striker. Solanke's out injured. Kulizeski tonight, well, I said it during the match, he's playing with a handbrake on. I'm like, mate, who's going to play if not Son? It's like, it's got to be.
Richarlison. That's what we got.
Did you see Richarlison tonight? I mean,
terrible.
Listen, guys, for me, I get the fitness. I get he ain't got 90 minutes. I get every lot. But a simple hold-up play to let us breathe a little bit. The ball's bouncing off his shoulder, going behind. It's just not only we have these fitness issues. For me, he's just an all-round poor player.
Look, I think Iggy, what with Richarlison, he's just not fully fit. I think Maddison alluded to it after the game against Everton. You know, he shouldn't be starting games at the moment. I just don't think he's fit enough. And I think once he gets a bit of minutes in his legs, we've seen that he can go on scoring runs. Whether he can impact the game enough for us is a different question. But we can see he can make an impact in terms of, you know, goals and assists on a regularity. So we'll see what happens with Richarlison. But the reality is right now we really need him. We just need any sort of player that can come in and give us some sort of physicality on the pitch, because we were down and out. We were running on empty in that second half. And I do feel like the players on the pitch just gave their all today. They really did.
What about Andrew's just come out? Andrew's just come out, and this is interesting. I'm sure you'll cover it more tomorrow and then the coming days. The fact that these guys have got us to this position, Madders and all the players that have carried us through, credit to them. But he hasn't been playing Maddison. He hasn't been playing Maddison. Like the big games, the Liverpools, the Arsenals. But now...
Is he talking about Europa League? He's talking about Europa League, right?
Yeah, he's talking about... But he's saying his credit to... He singled out Madders.
I think Maddison has been playing the majority of the Europa League games, hasn't he?
Yeah, but why... I don't know. For me, it just seems a bit strange that if he's singling him out, and he must now be. I'm sure he's like the most, you know, he's our highest goal contributor in terms of goals and assists this season. Why is he? Why do you think, Ben, that he's not having that opportunity in the Premier League, and he's just doing it in Europa League?
Yeah, I've been talking about that a lot over the past couple of weeks, and I'm looking at Decky, who's being, you know, overrun and overplayed, and, you know, we're ruining Decky because first half of the season, before maybe I think it was the Bournemouth game, he was our best player, and since then I feel like he's dropped off a cliff. He's still giving his all for the team. Don't get me wrong, unbelievable player, an unbelievable engine in him, but he's just running on empty right now. That's the reality, and God bless his soul, because he just keeps running. But we're going to completely run him into the ground. And yeah, I know we've got 3 players to fill 2 positions, but I think Ange needs to manage the squad a bit better. He needs to start Maddison in more games. Maddison, I think, did start in the last game and didn't really do much, but he needs to be getting more minutes. He's getting half an hour here, half an hour there, and we're running Kulusevski into the ground. But the reality is, right now, with Brennan Johnson out injured, what choices do we have?
But we don't have much choice for the weekend, do we? Because we've got Bentancur, Maddison, Kulu, Bergvall, and unless you're moving Gray into midfield and giving someone a rest and putting Davis and Dragusin at centre back, and then put Spence and Reguilon, which we're not going to make that many changes, right? That's the only real options we got. We haven't got any options.
But you look at...
Well, we have. The transfer window's open, but, you know.
Oh, mate, don't get me started on the transfer window. We'll be here for another 6 hours, seriously, man. How are we sitting here 23rd of January and we haven't signed anyone? This club is an absolute disgrace. And Ange saying in his press conference, which we haven't even spoke about on the channel before the game, saying, oh, yeah, it's a possibility that we don't bring someone in. Are you fucking serious? It's a possibility that we don't bring someone in with the problems that we're having. This club is this. If we don't bring someone in, this is up there with when we didn't sign anyone over the course of the summer window under Pochettino, man. That is a disgrace if that happens.
Do you know what? I prefer Ange not to comment than comment like that. I'd rather him not, because then there you can interpret it in 2 ways, whether he might generally not don't want anyone in, or he might just want someone, but he can't say it because the club's not going to do it anyway. But to answer the way he does, it's almost as if he's aligning with the club. And that, for me, is a massive issue, because you cannot sit there and tell me watching you saying it. Yeah, I can only hear the board saying it, but I'm seeing you saying it, and you're kind of aligning that we might not get some, and you're okay with that. I don't know, man. It doesn't sit right for me. That's for me the why I've with the manager. I'm having I don't know, man. I can't get on board with him totally 100% anymore, because I just don't. I'm not agreeing with what he's saying. And that, for me, I mean, this is the first time I'm hearing about that statement, by the way. I didn't hear what he said. But to say that, like he said, given the problems that we got, I'd rather you not say nothing about it. Say, look, man, I'm going to let the club deal with that if they feel it's the right opportunity. Then you can say something like, they know what I think. And I've had that conversation. We'll see what happens. I'd rather him say something like that than say that.
Do you know the full quote, Iggy? Do you know what he actually said? He said it's a possibility that we don't bring someone in from now to the end of the window. However, the guys in the background are working really hard to bring someone in, and in the last week of the window, we know things can progress really quickly. So we'll see what happens. That's what he said.
So let's wait for D-Day then, basically.
Yeah, we can't judge anything right now, albeit no signings from 1st of January till now is an absolute disgrace when we've known we're going into a window with the situation that we're in. We've been in this situation for the last 2 months.
Yeah, we've got the goalkeeper through the door, and again, I thought Austin, another one. I mean, you know what? I'm going to ask you because he's been at the club for 7 years. Why has he been overlooked as much? Why has he not even been a vice goalkeeper if you're not first team goal? Because, I mean, I saw him against Newcastle. It was brilliant. Tonight, I thought what he had to save, he saved. He was present in that penalty incident. That could have been he couldn't do nothing about the goals, but again, he was there, man. He was present. He's a good goalie, man.
You know what, Iggy? You know what? Brandon Austin's performances and Jed Spence's performances this season has made a mockery of Ange Postecoglou's decision to choose Jed Spence over Fraser Forster in the Europa League squad. An absolute mockery. And it's also put us in deep shit in terms of overplaying Porro and overplaying players, a doggy, picking up injuries as well. So, I mean, the decision for Ange to pick to not pick Brandon Austin as the backup keeper in the Europa League, I think it's an absolute disgrace, to be honest. And there was no need to pick Fraser Forster. I think Brandon's done us a massive service since he's come in 2 good games. And I just don't get it. I don't get why Fraser Forster was picked in this Europa League squad. What sense does it make?
No, because you know what? It's a lot of these players that are playing, because that's what I'm saying. Now we're seeing, Bergvall wasn't getting the game, Spence wasn't getting the game. We weren't seeing any of these guys. If it wasn't for these injuries, maybe that's a silver lining sometimes, because now we're getting to see these boys, and now we can be the judge of them. And when these guys all come back, I don't want to see these boys go nowhere, because they've helped us when we've been in this shit the most, and they've stayed up and they might have had good games, bad games, but they've been there and they've been counted, and they are valued players, and they have really responded. Like you rightly say, they've responded and put mud on Ange's face. And now we want to know why the fuck these guys have been ignored for as long as they have. It's you're right, it's mind-boggling. I don't think we're going to work it out tonight, but maybe at the end of the season we'll might have to length discussions on it.
But look, I think all in all, we struggled in the second half, but I think that was massively down to fatigue and Hoffenheim, we should have been out of sight. We should have put the game to bed in the first half. That's the reality. Yeah. We came out. We weren't as energetic as which was expected. But the man, the moment, Captain Fantastic, Son Heung-min pulls us out the dirt. And
mud.
And look, the Europa League situation is looking good at the moment. We're in the top 8. I think the lowest that we can drop down is 6 with the last game of Elfsborg. And that's all that matters. We get the 3 points. We're in the top 8, and I think that's all that matters today.
We can look forward to the Leicester game now. Not completely, but we can. No. Is that now?
No.
I guarantee you, Porro plays the Leicester game. I guarantee you that.
100%.
Oh, you know Porro's going to be there. You know Reguilon's going to be 90 minutes on the bench again.
He wants to send a message to his mum, saying, "Mum, I've got on the pitch today."
But look, big up, guys. Great show. Emerson Royale in the mud, getting sold once again. Son Heung-min saves us. Big up to you, Barry. Big up to you, Iggy.
See you later.
Big up, Ben.